Dr. Sab, just picking up on something that Imam Sab mentioned about those who are sick or unwell are not required to fast. Often you have people, for example, diabetics who might say, well, it's just an ailment that I have to live with, and am I still permitted to fast, or should I be fasting? That obviously these issues sometimes arise. Is there a hard and fast rule in this regard?
Not in that case. I mean, in every medical condition, obviously one is more aware of their own condition rather than somebody else who is advising them, apart from maybe their medical practitioner. So there are many ailments whereby the person who may be sick is well aware of his own condition and knows whether he is able to fast or not, or whether he has medication that he can adjust around the times of the fast so that he can still continue to fast. But the best policy for that person is that they must seek advice from their regular medical practitioner to make sure that they are not going to injure themselves in that way, health-wise, so that they are able to fast. For instance, diabetes is a very common ailment, especially amongst Asians in the United Kingdom. And there are many different levels and types of diabetes. And there are some that are controlled by diet alone, there are some that are controlled by oral medication, some by insulin. So maybe in the categories that are controlled by diet alone, then they are able to control their diet, in fact, in a better way while they are fasting, that they take the sehri, and then at the time of iftar they can eat regularly again. But everybody knows his own body well, and they must obviously take that into consideration. If they feel that they are not able to fast because of their medical condition, they feel weak, they may become hypoglycemic during the day, then obviously then they should take use of the facility that Allah has provided for them, and therefore they should not fast. So no hard and fast rule. Everybody knows his own self better than anybody else, and they must decide for themselves in that respect.
I think what Dr. Sahib just mentioned may not be taken by some people that, well, we know our condition better, therefore we have to decide. So because in many cases, I think you may come across certain people who may say that, well, I'm fit for fasting. Otherwise, he's carrying a load of medication to be taken at a regular interval throughout the day. So they are skipping their medication in order to put all the hardship upon them so that somehow they may be able to observe fast. That is against the spirit of Islam. So as it has already been mentioned in the program, that it's not by force that we can please Allah Almighty. By coercion, we can say that, well, I must fast. That is the only way of pleasing Allah Almighty. Actually, it is the pleasure of Allah Almighty, whether by fasting or by making use of the provision given by Allah Almighty. If Allah Almighty, who knows everything and who knew everything, if He has mentioned in the Holy Quran that the people who are sick, they are, for that period, they are exempt from it. So Allah Almighty knows that there could be certain conditions where it may be too much for the people to go through the practice of fast. So therefore, the best advice I would generally like to give is that in case of sickness, instead of becoming your own physician, which could be a dangerous thing in many cases, the best course is people should go to the doctor and present himself and the case with the symptoms and what he feels honestly to the doctor and get the advice from doctor. There may be certain situations, in case of one person, doctor may say that, yes, it is right for you to observe fast. For the other person, he may not be, because it depends on the condition. And the decision can be taken best by the doctor, not by the person who is suffering from that ailment.
In this regard, the Holy Quran has also said, Yuridullahu bikumul yusra wa la yuridu bikumul usra. Allah desires ease for you, not hardship.